My favourite bit was when we performed to the whole school.
It just brought a completely new dimension to the children's lives and was very enriching for them.
Definitely.
Every child should have a chance to do it.
I'm looking forward to acting and becoming a loudspeaker.
They should be opened up to different things, and this is definitely a different thing.
Through Alice in Wonderland, creativity could come out pretty much all the time, and they just flew.
And a lot of my less confident kids really came out of their shell.
I liked when we were showing our performance to the whole school because I was practicing being confident in front of everyone. It makes me speak louder and be more confident. Well, it was just kind of fun actually, just getting to be crazy on stage.
So the project's been running 5 years, and in that time we've done Project Dream, Project Scrooge, Project BFG, Project Narnia, and this year Project Wonderland. And it fulfils the curriculum for excellence needs in a Scottish school. So primary schools and secondary schools all study curriculum for excellence, which is an approach to teaching along themes. So you would perhaps get one topic, one idea, one concept, and then you would study it across all of your subjects over a period of a few weeks. So what they've been doing with Project Wonderland is they've been using the idea of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland to use that as a curriculum topic. Really the idea of this topic, of this project, is to use learning and put arts and creativity at the heart of learning as part of the curriculum. So the arts can be a stimuli rather than just something like the Victorians or the Egyptians, for instance, actually using a creative story and a creative approach. So schools have been doing art, music, drama, dance, a whole range of things, and then creating their own sharings.
Okay. So remember, we spoke a little bit about this the last time. I'm not here to do a version of Alice in Wonderland with you. I'm here to do a performance with you guys, which is linked to Alice in Wonderland and about some of the themes in Alice in Wonderland.
And we've been working in 4th U for a number of years now, and 4th U are a school that has a whole range of different challenges, and it's great to work with a school that is really supportive and really embraces the idea of a curriculum for excellence and this whole idea of interdisciplinary learning and cross-curricular approaches. And this year we decided to do a slightly different project with putting in a set designer, costume and makeup to actually look at the wider aspects of production, not just the theatre makers.
Turn a person into a cat, that's perfectly okay.
Well, as a school, we've been involved with the various projects the Lyceum Theatre have run before, and it's always been a tremendous opportunity, especially working in an area of high disadvantage, for children to first of all get access to high quality drama input, and allows the children to explore a range of emotions and ideas in a very safe, supportive environment, sometimes for the first time. They've never done these things before. It's exciting, it's creative.
This is for us, okay, to work on together as a group, okay? We began the entire 6-week project using this resource pack bag, which was basically a bag of different props, different items that all related to the themes that we had found within Alice in Wonderland. So we had drink me bottles, we had a clock to look at time, we had maps to look at journeys, and we also had really important questions as well, which were things that we would use to help them to explore the story, I suppose. So we let them open the bags, which were like a present or a gift that we brought in to every class, and take some time to talk about what they might represent within the story, how we could use them to continue devising work. And then both groups in 4th View, on the first session, we looked through some of these questions, and actually both classes picked one question, which was, what would your Wonderland be like? And that's kind of really where the process for the performance began. If you could journey to anywhere, where would it be? Okay, so oh, that's a good one. So you get to act out your own adventure. The process for the Wonderland performances was a devised process, and I guess there's a lot of reasons really as to why we did that. We didn't want to go in with a script because it's their performance. This is about me going in and working with a group of young people and facilitating them and their ideas and making sure that they have a sense of ownership over the project and over their performance. and everything in that performance was theirs. It was things that they had created and they had made. So that felt really special.
When you get to do it.
Exactly. Once you give it a try, it's totally...
One of the best things about the show was the fact that loads of them had never actually seen Alice in Wonderland before, so they didn't know anything about it. So therefore, they were given themes, and one of the themes that they focused on the most was the cards. So there were clubs and there were diamonds and there were spades, etc. And they made up their own Wonderland. They all had their own ideas. There were arguments at the beginning. There were arguments towards the end. But the kids managed to work through these arguments and turn them into discussions about, well, you've got an idea, you've got a good idea. And that was one of the best things about making sure that we didn't read Alice to them, we didn't show them the original animation of it, because if we'd done that, they wouldn't have been able to be so creative and work together and come together in a team, which they really did in the final performance. They came together in a team, which in the first weeks you were thinking, oh my word, these children are just not getting along with each other. They want their own ideas, they don't want someone else's idea. But throughout the 8 weeks, they managed to build on that and create that. So their show came alive through it.
My class in particular are quite shy, and public speaking is not something that they will kind of flock to do, and I think Project Wonderland really gave them the opportunity to express themselves in a kind of very almost bombastic, loud and creative way in a safe environment. So that was fantastic, and the whole exploring play, or at least a story, where they then get to create the script themselves, they get to explore their own ideas. The kids love that kind of free artistic license, so I think they really enjoyed being able to run with their play and not just someone else's that, you know, we have given to them to kind of practice themselves.
Chantel and Morgan stuck in Wonderland with one question remaining. How did they get home?
I really enjoyed it, the fact that you could get everything from the start to the finish, the whole build-up of how the whole thing came about. It went right through from the rehearsals right through to the actual show.
We know how to be those vegetables, we know we're going to have music, we know about the driving in Wonderland.
The kids loved sharing ideas and saying, oh well, you know, it was two completely different stories, but they loved how Mr. Chisholm's class had taken their ideas and they had rolled with it. They were both very different productions, and I got kind of similar feedback from Mr. Chisholm's class, and I think they loved the idea that they were kind of starting with the same building blocks but took it in very much their own direction, but it also gave their work a kind of sense of identity as well. It was very much theirs and not just two classes essentially doing the same play.
I wouldn't feed this to my dog, would I? No. Says no.
Well, it's gave Sean a lot more confidence. I'm dancing about the house like a diamond, and also just his whole behaviour in the last few weeks has been just hyper, and he's using his imagination a lot more as well.
Looking forward to finishing the costume designs, because I really like costume designing and I would like to see what everybody else has made and what they think of mine.
I'm looking forward to doing the show next week because it gives people a chance to speak out loud. Let's take him to court.
Yeah! Says everybody. Yeah!
The other class didn't take the same themes as we did, which was really good that they didn't take the same themes as we did. And I think they were surprised at how the other class's performance worked, because it was completely different from our performance. So when I think they saw the other performance, what was really nice was my class just sat and watched, and they were enthralled. And my class is a very lively class, and listening's a challenge for my class. In good ways and bad ways. So for them to sit down and watch the other class's performance and just be there clearly showed that they were really interested, because they knew that the other class had taken something important out of the Wonderland project just like they did.
So that if we need this stuff over the next couple of weeks, it's all here together for us too.
I think, first of all, it's going to give the young people a break from their day-to-day routine, something that they can look forward to, it's something that they can be excited by, And in a lot of cases, in a lot of classrooms, in a lot of schools, there isn't always going to be a resource to have somebody who's a drama specialist or someone who's a drama artist to come in and do that. So there's so many wonderful primary school teachers who work really hard at trying to bring drama into the classroom, but there's always going to be time issues and there's going to be time constraints, and there's so it was quite nice with this project to kind of have a 6-week period where you've got a slot on a Thursday morning and they know that that's their chance to be really creative and that's their chance to do the drama workshop. And not every child gets a chance to do that. And I think it's a shame, really, that not every young person gets access to that. So that's why it's so important that you've got these projects that happen in schools, especially schools that are so open to the project coming in, but just wouldn't normally be able to afford to do that. I think it's really important for the young people, for the school, for the adults who are working there as well, in terms of their professional development. But it's really important to give every child a sense of equal access, I think, to a project, regardless of your community or your school or where it is that you live.
I think what surprised me was the children who are really quiet in class. I've got one or two children that are readers, so in that sense they've got a really good imagination, but they're not so outgoing. And a couple of children in particular really surprised me by how outgoing and how emotive they were in their performance, because they are normally just not that outgoing in class. But Alice, the Wonderland project, brought that out of them, because the tables in the classroom were all pushed aside, the classroom was dishevelled. So I guess it was a little bit like Wonderland, because it wasn't a normal class. So they didn't have to be their normal self in class, because not every child belongs at a desk. Not every child needs to be good at maths or good at language. Every child is good at their own thing, and this project has managed to bring that out of some of these children and surprise me when I work every day to try and find ways to get these children to find the best in themselves, but I can only do that in a limited way, because at the end of the day I need to get them to do what the curriculum tells them to do, and creativity can only come at certain times, whereas through Alice in Wonderland, creativity could come out pretty much all the time, and they just flew.
You're goldie, you're goldie.
Great, hold it. Very nice.
The face painting.
And dressing up.
I think the face painting, definitely.
And probably creating their own storyline as well.
Putting their ideas together, because they all sat down and put their own sort of ideas into it.
I think for my daughter it's been an eye-opener to see things from a whole new different thing.
And the trips.
And they had a lot, which they loved.
Mostly the performance, because we've practiced a lot and it's really fun to do, because it's not like you're recreating Alice in the Wonderland, it's actually your version of Alice in the Wonderland.
I'm looking forward to doing the makeup because I love doing makeup.
A lot of my less confident kids really came out of their shell, and I mean I'm still seeing kind of louder public speaking voices, more enthusiasm to share and to work collegiately as part of a group or as part of a whole class. And that was really nice to see, because it's often something that I have to try and teach and encourage, but it just kind of came naturally with the whole creative process with Project Wonderland, so I think the kids really benefited from that.
When I saw the final performances, I was actually quite blown away to see our children, after what was in effect 9 hours of drama input, being able confidently to express themselves on stage, very often in an entertaining way. And one child in particular, I was astonished to see him on stage. He has never been prepared to get up on stage. He doesn't take part in PE. He is always the fly on the wall. He is the person who takes photographs, watches and observes. And I was actually very excited to see him being involved in the performance and taking a vocal part.
All cats. Excellent. Diana.
There would be like...
So this year we're working with around about 1,500 young people across Edinburgh, and that is only possible because of the generous support from people, trusts and foundations and private donors that we've been able to do this. And I think it really shows the value of the project and how arts is for everyone, because it's a really interesting and engaging project that people are wanting to support, that people really do see the benefit of, and people come out to see our work often and are just overwhelmed and quite stunned by just what people have managed to achieve in such a short space of time. You know, there's something in Project Wonderland, in Project Narnia, in the Creative Pathways project for everyone. Everyone can get something out of it.
It does turn the time, yeah. And how is time used in the story?
I would do the project again in a heartbeat. Who would have thought that these children would ever get a chance to go and jump into a world where they can say, right, this is my imagination, this is my imagination, and this is my imagination.
Oh, in a heartbeat, definitely. Absolutely. Yeah, loved it, and the kids really did. So whether it would be this class or another one, I'm sure they would have the same kind of experience.
I would absolutely take part in the project again. I do just think it's a tremendous opportunity. Children in areas like this often don't get the opportunity to go to a theatre, to be part of the wider project, and to get to the backstage areas, to get to the costume department, try on the costumes. That was such a thrill for the children to see how stage productions are brought together. It's actually introduced the children to a whole new area of life that they weren't aware existed. It just brought a completely new dimension to children's lives and was very enriching for them.
Definitely.
Every child should have a chance to do it.
They should be opened up to different things, and this is definitely a different thing.
With Millie knowing that her brother's been involved, she is looking forward to being able to do stuff like that as well when she moves up class.
Great confidence builder for any child that does it. Definitely. It's been well worth it.
I'm looking forward to doing the show and seeing what it looks like when it's finished. The acting, because usually I'm quite shy about this, and it's like my chance to get out my comfort zone. I'm looking forward to acting and becoming a loudspeaker.
A confidence boost, especially in front of other children as well, with the dressing up. Like Sean, I thought Sean would have got a bit embarrassed putting the dress on, but no, he put the dress on.